So the biggest issue I had in construction of this was actually getting the motor to work correctly. So I went through a number of options. I tried running it in a series circuit. However, I found that that's not always reliable due to some brief Googling, internal brushes in the actual device. So for me, I couldn't get it to slow down enough. It was still running far too fast. So I explored some other options, including putting a potentiometer into the circuit. However, I found out the problem with that is the amount of volts I would be running through it would cause it to burn out, and it would essentially do nothing. The solution to that would be getting an Arduino board and actually programming a little control board so that I can control the speed as well as the on and off. However, that proved to be too costly, and it was also difficult to get supplies. So eventually I had to rely on just making it heavy enough, so weighty enough that it wouldn't go too far out of control, and just trying to control it through a pulley system. I also had to figure out how to use, on the back here, the DP-DT switch. So I had to figure out how I was supposed to wire that so that I could reverse polarity on my drawbridge. That proved to be an issue. Through some brief tutorials found on the internet, I was able to do it without a problem though. I also had to figure out, I didn't feel comfortable including the IR sensor until I had a vague idea of how it worked. So essentially, the power connects first to the Arduino Nano board. The Nano board has to actually be programmed, so I was fortunate, whereas mine was already pre-programmed because I already had the LEDs lying around complete with the remote. It all came in one pack from, I think, Kmart. But I didn't feel comfortable using it unless I was had a vague idea of how it worked. So the Arduino Nano board is programmed to different variables as to what each of the buttons on the control do, and it receives its information through an IR sensor. And then you've got 3 wires running from the board to the LED, so the RGB red, green, blue wires. And then you've also got 1 black wire which supplies the power to the whole thing. So just trying to understand that when constructing it was helpful.